I am very uncomfortable right now, you all. I thought I would challenge myself today to film a video in public. So I came to a cafe early in the morning because it was closed, because I thought no people are going to be there this early. But it's still outdoors in public, so it's still me challenging myself. But now the cafe is open because time has passed and there is a lot of people here. A lot. So part of me thought I'll just change locations to somewhere where it's empty. But then I decided, you know what? I'm just going to take this challenge, which now is what I had imagined times 50, and make the most out of it. So I never thought I would find myself in this situation right now. You can't really see, but there's people all around me. And I do want to keep this video very raw, so I'm gonna just do one take so that y'all can come along on my uncomfortable journey of becoming comfortable with filming in public. So if you see me get distracted, if you see me get embarrassed, you're welcome. Now, that's actually not even what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about a topic that is very important to me and something that has probably changed my mindset more than anything else in my life. And that thing is judgment. Us human beings judging people and situations and experiences so easily and all the time, often without even thinking about it. Now, looking back, I've realized that I actually used to be pretty judgmental. And it was only until very recently that I've realized how unjudgmental I've become. And what an incredibly positive impact it's had on my life. And it was pretty amazing reflecting on that and how I've never even really thought about it. And as soon as I did, I knew I had to share it with you all because I want everyone to take this message and change their mindset, because the positive impact that it's had on me is incredible, really. Now, let's dive right into it. So let's start with what I mean with judgment. Let's see how I can define it. I think judgment is when you build or when you form a final opinion on something based on just one moment. It's very instant, you know, the few seconds of you seeing a person or being at a place or whatever it might be, and you forming your opinion and then not wanting to know more about it or see anyone else's or hear about anyone else's opinion or experience. It's just, this is what I think, dot. No discussion. That's how I would kind of define being judgmental. So before I dive into how I stopped being so judgmental, I want to tell you all about how it has changed me. And it took me some time to really narrow it down to these points and to track it back to these factors being due to me being less judgmental. So, how has becoming less judgmental changed me? First thing, I am much more compassionate. I simply understand that things are not always as they seem. The second thing is, I don't get sad or angry or irritated, easily. In fact, very, very rarely. And I think that's due to the fact that once you choose to really understand people and situations, external factors won't have any power over you. The third thing is, I don't take things personally. And again, I think that's simply because I understand people better, and I understand that there are certain circumstances that I don't know about. So I don't take things personally. I have a list here so I don't forget. That's why I'm looking down on my phone. I have healthy relationships. I'm much better at giving advice. I'm much better at listening, and I'm much better at understanding. And therefore, I believe it's made me someone who people find trust in and find comfort in, which I think is amazing and so important. I'm more open-minded. Now, think of it this way. Your perspective is only one out of over 7 billion perspectives. Like, take a moment to really think about that. Now, the last thing is, I appreciate things and people much, much more. And I think this goes hand in hand with being open-minded, because realizing that I don't know it all, and that what I see isn't always the truth, it's made me more open to wanting to hear people out and wanting to have dialogues with people. And I guess that goes hand in hand with being open-minded. I just realized that this is my opinion. This is what I think. But there's a whole world of them. And I think many of them are very much worth listening to. Because that's how we learn and that's how we grow. So, let's dive into how I got to this point. I like to be practical, and I will try to be as practical as I can with this point, although it's been a very long progress. I didn't just become less judgmental overnight, obviously. But I've narrowed it down really to three things. The first thing is, I try to see things through a natural lens. So, you might already know, every person has opinions, obviously, and values, and the things we believe. So, I might already know that I dislike this thing and like this thing. But if I'm in a situation where I'm presented with whatever it might be, I don't go into it knowing that I don't like it. I go into it with a natural lens, and that allows me to absorb more information, to possibly add to my opinion, change my opinion, learn more, instead of just knowing what I like or knowing what my opinion of something is, whether it's negative or positive, and going into it openly with a natural lens. The next thing is, and I think this one is very important, is I've changed my phrasing. So, for example, if I go see a movie that I don't like, instead of saying the movie was awful, I will say I personally did not like the movie. And although they both kind of really mean the same thing, phrasing it differently changes the conversation. And if you have the tone and the attitude of saying this is awful, it's not going to welcome any conversation, and people are not going to really even be curious to what you have to say, because they know that you're already negative and you already formed your opinion. And that's that. There's no exchange of opinions, there's no exchange of perspective. It's just a dead end. If you, however, phrase it more like, I personally did not enjoy it, or I didn't really like it, then that might trigger some curiosity with other people. So they might want to know more about it, and then you can answer to that, and then you guys can add to each other's opinions. And I think that's an amazing way to broaden your mind and to have very interesting conversations with people. Because in the movie situation, you might have missed something, whether it's the message of the movie or a moment in the movie that was very powerful that someone else caught up on, but that you missed. And if you don't go into the conversation open-minded, you'll never know, and you might miss out on something great. So definitely changing my phrasing has been very important. And the third and final point is to pause more. I've talked about this quite a lot, I feel like, but I'm going to keep talking about it because pausing more is just one of the best things you can do. You know, instead of being so quick to forming an opinion or judging or, you know, saying what you want to say, just take a breather, take a moment, think and reflect, even just for 30 seconds or 1 minute, before you open your mouth and say something that you haven't even really thought through. Because it's so funny, sometimes if we go back to the movie example, if someone has said, oh, I hated that movie, and then I question them, because I like questioning people, and you all know that if you follow me on this channel. I'm like, why did you hate it? And a lot of the times, people don't even really have an answer. They don't even know. They just probably did not like the first 10 minutes, and then just gave up on it. Now, of course, I'm not saying that. I mean, there are movies that are awful, at least to me. Obviously, that's not a universal opinion on anything. And there's music I don't like. But a lot of the times, we just don't have an open mind. Something happens, we form an opinion, and then we don't care enough to add to it or to listen to what other people have to say about it. So to sum up, start by seeing things through a natural lens. Then pause to think. And finally, pick your words. I believe that that is the formula to getting your thoughts in order. And that's really all I have to say for this video. Sorry if I've been a bit awkward in this video. I'm still uncomfortable. Maybe not as uncomfortable. Because now I've already been sitting here for 15 minutes filming and nothing's happened. I'm alive. I'm fine. People might be staring. People might be wondering what the hell I'm doing. Why is this girl sitting alone at this cafe with a mic and the camera? But you know what? It's because I have a YouTube channel, and it's because I want to talk to you all, because I love chatting with you all. I enjoy the conversations so much, and the comments, and when you guys start chatting in between each other, I love it. Thank you so much for participating on this channel, and for sharing your thoughts and your opinions, and for being part of this community. Now, I want to end with a question. How much thought have you given to whether or not you are judgmental, and perhaps overly judgmental, and how not being that could potentially change you? Have you ever thought about the benefits that it might have to your life? Because like I said, it's probably the thing that's changed me the most, more than anything else. And I really hope you all will reflect on yourselves. And you might notice that you are pretty judgmental. Or maybe not, but appreciate how not being that way can really change you. Okay, I'm just going to act like this never happened, and leave this place and never come back. That's not true. I love this place. I used to come here all the time when I lived here. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed something a bit different. If I wasn't speaking very clearly, it's because, like I said, I'm simultaneously challenging myself pretty drastically, to me. So, excuse that, and I'm going to try and become better so that I can do this more often and just speak freely and not being uncomfortable. Alright, thank you so much for watching as always. I will see you in my next one.